Good morning, guys. Look, I'm old. That's a pretty cool top, right? I actually love the colours on that. Yeah, look at that. Woo! I don't know what it is, but it's cool. Good morning, guys. Yeah, the guy who wears the most crazy tops. I guess it's a reflection of my personality. I often say that now. I don't know if you guys know that, but when I look at people and see the colour of clothing that they wear, it's a representation of how they're feeling at any given moment. When I see people wearing black, it means that they're ready for change, but they don't know what that change is. So lots of different, colours have different meanings to me. So it's something that I've observed and found fascinating. A bit like numerology and all the other wonderful things that we kind of use to connect to our higher self, and they're like little tricks. What can we use to help us feel more? And I think it's a really interesting subject because you might use stones, I might use crystals or cards, you might use angel cards, and I might use cards which are called tarot cards, but they're all ways of heightening our awareness, and they're just a little helping hand. We call them tools, but people get this thought that, oh, these are dangerous things. They're not. They're just things that we use. A carpenter uses a chisel and a hammer to make something beautiful. We use cards to bring out something beautiful, to share beautiful messages. Anyway, guys, welcome to my Bajerski YouTube channel. Today's a beautiful day. I'm off on one already. Today I'd like to dispel, or maybe we did a video the other day on you make a decision whether you believe a certain thing that I'm saying is demonic or not. And today we're going to talk about pieces of paper, which some people call tarot cards. Tarot. So the tarot cards are vastly different designs and different meanings depending what deck you use. These are a set of tarot cards which were placed into my hand by one of my first mentors, and she was amazing at knowing when somebody was gifted at something and they didn't know. The person didn't know, so she put these in my hands, and I thought, oh my god, what are these? But she knew, and till this day, over a decade, I've been using these cards, and I'm going to put it to you now. I'm going to see if you believe whether these are demonic. So these are in Spanish. I have these on my website because I love them. And the reason why they're in Spanish is purpose. Because I don't like to use words. I like to look deep into the cards and see images, and then them images change, and sometimes you're looking at one of the cards and you see something, and all of a sudden you see a message in that card. It's hard to see because of the reflection, but they are beautiful cards, trust me. They're divinely gorgeous, beautiful cards. And I found that I had a kind of gift, like we all do, and I could see things within the cards. The cards were changing shape, and I was seeing things which weren't there, but they were there. And I realized very quickly that these are a great little helping hand to help you see more clearly. And thus I started practicing the art of reading cards and spiritually attuning through the cards to my client. So where am I going to go with this? Imagine a decade and a half of reading for thousands of people. Where do I pick out my first thought of a reading that gives you an idea whether this is demonic or not? Okay, well, one thing now springs to mind of a beautiful lady who came to see me with gorgeous, thick, silky dark hair. It was very long. She was Spanish, and she was very sad, extremely sad. Now, as you all know, as a lot of you know, that on my website, when I was doing readings, it would specifically say, Mark Bajerski does not want to know your name not even your first name. Please just come. Please don't say anything and sit and just allow him to read. And that was more for me, because if you start telling me things, then I can't go there anymore. Bloody hell, the clouds look like they're UFOs. Look at them clouds today. They look like UFOs today. You see them? They're not, but they look like them. Hey, another sign. Am I going to be abducted tonight? I hope so. Take me away from this crazy world. I'll be the first in line. Take me away. Let's have some sanities, for God's sake. Crazy people talking about demons, demonic all the time. What's wrong with everybody? Okay, let's go. Sorry, guys, I go off on one. So, you do know you're as crazy as me, don't you, for watching this? For watching me. Because, you know, like, I used to be a hairdresser, and it was really fascinating. When I was a hairdresser, we had a hairdressing salon, me and my first wife, and she was sat over there. Sam was sat there. Stood there. Heather was there, and I was here. So we all had our stations, our hairdressing stations. And I found it fascinating. I wasn't into any of this stuff, but I could clearly see certain things and feel certain things. I don't know if you're a hairdresser, you know. You sit your first client down and you talk to them, and within 3 or 4 minutes, you attune to their energy and you become them. You understand that? So if they're happy and joking and laughing, you become happy. If they're serious, you become serious, you know? So you attune to your client, a bit like you do every day when you meet people on the street. You attune yourself to them to make them happy. Naughty, naughty! Be you! So what I gathered really... Sorry, there's downstairs, they're doing some vacuuming in a car now, so just ignore the noise. So anyway, right, I thought they'd stopped. Oh God, should I start again? Where was I? I can't remember where I was anymore now. So yeah, my first wife Jackie was there, and she'd have a client, and the client would be crying her eyes out every time, crying. Then Sam was there, client really serious, never said a word. Sam really serious, never said a word. My ex-wife always crying, and then Heather. Everything was worried and panicking and worrying, and every client she'd got were worrying and panicking, and then there was me. Every client I got was like nuts and crazy. Laughing and joking and like, yeah. So it's true. You are a magnet to who you are a lot of the times. What you are, how you behave, you become a magnet to those very people. So I always say to you, work on your happiness, and then you will find happiness. Happiness will find you. People who are happy and kind and loving will find you. So let's get back to the story about tarot cards being demonic. Okay, so I took my cards out, and this beautiful lady, round about 38, 40 years old, something like that. I think I've got that right. She bowed her head and tears started to come down. I don't know if you know, but when you're in the company of love, tears flow. It's a natural thing because it's the heart opening. So tears started flowing, and I began to read. I could instantly see abuse of a man or a husband who had been physically and emotionally abusing this lady, and I could see it was over 5 years. The figure 5 shot up, and I saw blood, and I knew that meant abuse, and I thought, poor girl. So I didn't talk about the abuse. It wasn't important, just because one of the things that I teach in tarot or learning how to read the cards is anybody can see somebody upset, but it takes a true genius, a true pure loving person to see the answers and give them at least some information to help them make their own decision. Okay, so I'm looking in the cards, and all of a sudden I turned another card over, and I said, I can see the path has been challenging, and you are an amazingly strong energy to go through the challenges that you've done, as we all have. But I see a beautiful light. And then I turned another card over, and then all of a sudden I saw very clearly a man with ginger hair, really red hair, and a beautiful smile. And all of a sudden I closed my eyes and I saw them walking on a beachfront together, just holding each other and talking. And I just let it out. I just said, what I see and what I feel is love so deep in your future of a beautiful man with vibrant red hair. And I said, your life will be filled with joy and the most powerful moments of healing that you could ever imagine. The person that I see loves you beyond love and has kissed you once before. And I went on, and then we did a bit of healing on the bed, and then she left. No words were said, remember. About 3 months later, I saw this very lady, but not what I thought I was going to see her for. So she came in and she said, no, because she was Spanish, it was a little bit challenging for me to understand fully what she was saying, but I got it, and she spoke broken English, but she understood what I said to her. So we went for a coffee instead of a reading because she wanted to share something with me, and I said, that's fine. I was a little bit nervous. I hope I hadn't done anything wrong. As you are, when you're a reader, you don't want to do anything wrong. You want to help people, and you're always aware that you could make a mistake and you could say something wrong. So you've always got that little bit of fear. You know, when a police car's behind you and you have that bit of fear? Well, I have that little bit of fear because I don't want to do anything wrong. So we went for a coffee. We sat down at Bar Puras, and we started talking, and she said, I just want you to know that when I was younger, and she mentioned round about 16, the first kiss she ever had was to a boy that she fell in love with, and it was the most beautiful kiss that she's ever had. And this boy had red hair, and she told me that after leaving the reading, she had faced or confronted her husband about the abuse that she had. And she said that after the healing and reading, she had the power to say to him, enough is enough. And she packed her bags and walked out. 3 months after that, she had a message that came up on her Facebook account, which was of her first love. She'd never seen him before. She didn't know where he was. And it was because they were at school. I think it was Barcelona, and it was Barcelona. And all of a sudden he popped up and said hi. He was getting divorced, and then they met and they connected instantly. And she said that they walked on the Paseo and they were holding hands and they never felt as much love, and they're now married. Okay. There was another story about a young man who, when I first started, came to see me, and I started reading for him. And I could clearly see, it was when I first started, so it was in Run by Angels. So I turned over 3 cards and I said, you are going to be an amazing football player for blue and white. That's what I saw. I saw blue football, blue and white. And I said, and you are going to be famous. And I said, straight after that, I saw a girl, and I said, and the girl that you think doesn't care and love you anymore, loves you more than you can imagine, and it will all work out. This, when I'd finished, I'm giving you a short version, okay? So when I'd finished, this boy had wiped his tears, okay? And there was another boy at the side of him waiting for him. I remember that too. What else happened? Okay, so he took out his little wallet. He was a really tall, blonde hair, good-looking lad, very thin, but very, you could see he come from a good background, well, not just educated, but polite and respectful. Very rare these days. Okay. And he took out a little wallet, but it had a zip. And I'm not kidding you, I don't look for what people are doing, because at that time I wasn't charging, but I had a little tin which was for our horse Claudia that we were looking after as a community, and I thought, wouldn't it be nice to if anybody wants to leave something, they can put it in this tin and it will help Claudia, the horse that got abandoned. So he took his, and I'm not kidding, there was nothing hardly in there. There was just little tiny coins, but they were only small ones. But the big one, which was either a €1 or €2, went into the tin. Basically all his money. And he zipped it up and he went. Maybe a year later, that same boy ended up coming back and telling me that he was now playing football for semi-professional reserves, I think he called it, and the girl that had left him prior to that for 3 months, basically he thought she would never be with him anymore and they wouldn't be together, and they were together and they were going to get engaged. And when the moral of this story is, at the point where he just walked up them stairs and saw a sign saying free readings, was he said, I was going to stop playing football. That was it. And that was the moment where he made a decision that this is it, I'm finished, until he got to the top of the stairs, and I dread for him. So that's another story. I've got thousands of stories, thousands and thousands of stories. A lady came to me with much sorrow and sadness in her life. Her daughter was very ill and not very well. I think I've shared this story once before. And she put a photo in front of me and said, can you tell me anything about my daughter? She's not doing very well. And I says, well, I'll have a look and see. Instantly, as I looked at the cards, I went like this with my stomach. And I'm not kidding you. The pain was like somebody stabbed me so much. It was like, and I went, oh my God. Oh, I said, maybe if you just ask her to go to the doctors and just to check in this area. And I think it was the bowel or somewhere like that. Anyway, and she wrote it all down and then she left. That was the only thing I remember really, just the pain and seeing it in the cards and seeing the stomach and looking at it and then feeling this pain. So a couple of months later, this lady came back and she was so thankful. She told her daughter straight away. Her daughter went to the doctors and said, I think there might be a problem in my stomach. It might be my stomach. So the doctor immediately sent her to hospital and they checked, and apparently a pancreas was dying. And if she hadn't have gone, this is the story, if she hadn't have gone at that particular time, it could have been fatal. Now, I'm not going to go on anymore. This is just off the top of my head. So I ask you, the girl who was abused and beat by her husband, did I do anything demonic to hurt or to ruin that relationship or ruin her? Was that demonic, that she found the love of her life, what came into her life, but through the reading gave her the strength to say enough is enough? Is that demonic? That's the first question I'd ask you. The second question about the boy who came up the stairs, who freely walked next to me, and I just saw within the cards that there was a football and that, he's going to be famous one day. Did I ruin his life? Is that demonic? Was that something that was, did I tell him what to do or not what to do? Was I manipulating in a demonic way? If you're of a good heart and you love and care for people, you know when you've done something wrong. You know when you've said something wrong. You know when you're doing something that you shouldn't do. I consider myself to be extremely sensitive. I get upset over a lot of things. If I have for years. I'm a lot stronger now than I've ever been. But through the years, if somebody said something awful to me, I'd be in bits for weeks. I've always been nervous of police, but I've never done anything wrong. I've never broken the law in my life. I respect my elders completely. I don't bitch about people. I have no time for people who bitch about others. I don't like people who laugh at people because of their misfortunes. That upsets me. If I see somebody fall on the street, I feel like I've fallen and I feel the pain. When I was in Germany, it was very bizarre. I don't know if I've ever told you. I was in Germany doing some work, and my second wife was there. Listen to me talking about ex-wives. By the way, I've fallen in love again, guys, just so you know. I'm in love with somebody so much. We've been in love with each other now for over a year, and I'm the most happiest, luckiest guy in the world. We keep our relationship to ourselves, but I am so much in love. So I'm so happy. So, like, a woman outside the bus, I'm on the bus, she's waiting to get into the bus. This guy behind her pushes her, and she had some suitcases. She fell over, and she ripped all her, because she was like 70 years old, 75. Her skin must have been really, as we get older, our skin becomes more delicate. We have to be careful. And she ripped all her skin at the front. She got onto the bus and she was bleeding. This guy never even batted an eyelid, never looked at her, nobody did. So I felt her pain. I ran over to the front of the bus. I didn't speak German, and I said, "First aid, somebody's bleeding." So I grabbed the box, he gave me the box, I ran back, and this woman was in shock because I just started to, open the box and clean her up, and everybody's looking at me as if there's something wrong with me. I'm cleaning her up and then bandaging her up, and then, she's crying, like tears coming down. And when I'd finished, I went back, and then as she got off the bus, the guy who pushed her over, who never said anything, got off the bus too, and I realised they were married. So what I'm saying is, I feel people's pain. Do you really believe that I would work with anything that would be demonic? Do you really believe that I believe people who work with the tarot cards, angel cards, crystals, all forms of spiritual tools, are beautiful souls. And I think they do it because they want to heighten their awareness, they want to help people, but predominantly they want to help themselves by doing that. So, when you gift something, it makes you feel better. Well, that's the same as gifting a reading or a healing. It makes you feel better too. And it gives you strength, and it does so much more to you. Keeps you young as well. So, I guess the moral of the story today is people are either good, bad, lost, happy, sad. People can say awful things and do awful things. It doesn't matter if you're using tarot cards, or you're in a bar having a drink with somebody, or you're watching telly and screaming at the telly, or whatever you're doing through a day. You're either in a good place or you're in a bad place. Where all of this energy comes from demonic is, I don't know, apart from suppression of our true gift. And I just think that people are so lost and so frightened and so fearful of the unknown that they have to make themselves feel better by using something that is going to ridicule to make them feel more safer. But I've got to tell you, I have met hundreds, if not thousands, of men who didn't believe in this field of work and thought it was nonsense. And after 1 hour of having a healing session, because they've never felt so low in their life, then all of a sudden they realize that there is something in this, and it is beautiful, and it isn't what I believed it was. So I guess to put a cap on all of this and to summarize everything, if you guys are working as a practitioner, as a healer, as a Reiki master, as a pure energy healer, as a pranic healer, as a yoga instructor, as a meditation teacher, or you do mantras, or whatever you do, you are doing the work and you are sharing your energy with souls who are awakening to the truth that this is a beautiful, I was going to say holy, but I'm not going to say holy. I'm going to say it's a beautiful awakening. It is a beautiful beginning of a new path for souls who have never understood this or been too busy to understand it, to experience something that never experienced before, and something that brings healing and joy to their life. So I want to say to you guys doing the work, you who meet people on the street daily and just say something lovely to them and help them along their journey, no matter what you do, if you do it with love, that's all that matters. And we are spreading like wildfire in love and healing and light to the world. So once what was deemed as demonic is now becoming the light and the truth and the healing. Once was deemed as poisoned and evil and a waste of energy is now becoming the most powerful healing for our body. And once what we believed was the most important thing, which was pharmaceutical drugs and all the man-made stuff, is now we're realizing is a suppression and only keeps us in that energy for the rest of our lives. So we are changing the world, we are awakening. So I leave it to you today. Let me know what you think. Is tarot cards demonic, or is it just a piece of paper? Is it just a card that helps us focus, look at something, and then feel the truth that comes from it? It's up to you. You tell me what you think. That's it really, guys. As a gift today, as I love giving gifts out because markbajerski.com is doing really well. Thank you guys for supporting markbajerski.com. I'm giving away my very own design dream catcher. I don't know if you can see, but I'll just open it out for you. I had these made by a beautiful family in Palo, so there's no evilness there, unless you think there is, but they're a beautiful family from Palo, and they made all my dream catchers. So I basically had them designed to the tree of life because I love the tree of life. I think I love trees. Okay, I love trees. And yeah, I just think they're gorgeous. But if you look very carefully, here 1, 2, 3, 4 are genuine rose quartz. And if you hang this above your bed, many people are now saying how it brings a lot of comfort and helps them sleep through the night. Some people who have night terrors and very bad dreams, they're fantastic because I've worked with the crystals and I put good energy into them, and hopefully you will feel that energy from above your head. They're one of the best sellers now, so people are loving them and spreading the message. So I hope you love them. Just an idea that came to me. So yeah, that's it really. I'm gonna gift that away to somebody today from my heart to yours. Thank you once again for subscribing to Mark Bajerski YouTube channel. Thanks for watching these ever growing longer videos. Take care, have a most beautiful day, and you know what, if you want to learn about the tarot card and the way I read them, then just go to markbajerski.com or stay on here and type tarot course on the above bar, and you get 1 hour of free 1 hour free learning about the tarot cards. Okay, I'll try and put a link to it if I can. Okay guys, have a lovely day. See ya.